said if you have empty, infinite void space, you only have two laws that apply: the potential for occurrence and the micropotential. Okay, because there is literally energy fluxes, quantum fluxes, 0-point energy. All right. Now, the definition for potential: having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. Okay, what is the future? That is inevitability. Okay, that's what will be. Okay, if you have empty, infinite space, the only thing is there is the will. This is where all this, the consciousness, the concept of consciousness comes into play, and how we were conceived. Because if you can conceive something, it can exist. If you can't conceive it, then it cannot exist. Therefore, we had to be conceived. And through this will and inevitability, we were conceived. And this would be the will of God. And this is actually literal. You actually can't debunk it because it's a basic fact. Okay? People will be like, oh, well, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's a will of God. Okay, for one, that means that you have a preconceived notion of what God is. If you're an atheist, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have any problem with believing any of the science that I actually state, because it proves that technically there's no God, but there is a God. Okay? You can look at it either way you want. That's why I believe that this has potential for peace, because two people from two different worlds can believe the same thing, and they won't have to fight about it. All it is just a word, a nomenclature. You know, the quantum nature of the universe, or it's God. We know the quantum nature of the universe exists. We know the quantum nature of the universe created everything that we know. Okay? If Alpha and Omega has always existed and is God and is nuclear and electric energy, then that means nucleons and electrons will exist in everything. Lo and behold, electrons and nucleons exist in everything. All of existence that we know. So God would be literally all of that we know. Literally, all of nature. You know, pantheists aren't necessarily inaccurate. I mean, when it comes down to it, labeling it pantheism just puts a label on it, and that completely ruins any kind of credibility because it was labeled. When you label something, it loses value. People label people all the time. Once they do that, that person becomes an object. They dehumanize them. It's the same kind of situation. So, literally, like I said, literally, our literature proves this.